Alright guys, so I'm partway through doing the second hinge. I got one done already. You can see the pin is in. I showed you in the last video. My roller is on. You can see I got a Allen head screw in there with a washer tightened down into the rest of the stud. And we got a little bit of play, which is good because as this opens, this roller probably wants to move around a little bit. So we got maybe less than 1/8 of an inch of movement up and down, which works out good. So it's tightened down. The roller is going to roll. I know I put a nylon one in there, which I didn't want to, but it fit the best out of everything. So what's left on this one is to put the spring back in, which I didn't mention to you guys in the other video. But this is the GM hinge spring compressor tool. You just tighten it, compresses the spring, you put it in place, done. So now the thing that sucks about tapping something this small is these are pretty damn delicate when you get down there. So I really took my time with the first one, and hopefully I don't fuck this one up because this isn't my kit. I borrowed this from my coworker. He's got a really nice tap and die set. And you gotta go really slow, man, because it doesn't take much to wedge this fucker in there with the shrapnel as you thread it. So we're just gonna slowly work our way in and out as we clear it, because the shavings, especially for a tap this small, it's not as strong. And this is tool steel, so if you have to drill this out, it fucking sucks. So just take your time if you do this yourself at home like I'm doing, because you're cheap. But ultimately, we saved a lot of money. Somebody posted the other night on one of the Pontiac pages that I follow, they bought a kit from Goodmark for $60. Now, I don't have $60 in this at all. I did screw up and buy too many pins, but even then I think I spent like $20 in pins. And then the bushings cost me 85 cents a piece. And I did buy some steel ones just in case if these do wonk out. I got some steel ones in there, but I still think the nylon ones will work out. It's not the greatest design. Thank you, GM. But you know what? Ultimately, I think it's going to work out good. And I think I got a little ways to go still. This tap really gives you a false sense of bottoming out because it gets wedged in there real fast. So you really gotta constantly go back and forth with stuff this small and make sure your hole is obviously as straight as possible. Which I actually managed to get these pretty damn straight. Not too lopsided, but again, the goal was for the screw to just... Let's see how that sits in there. Where's my other roller? Here we go. We're working on the floor now. As you can see, the hood got painted. My wife can give you guys a quick shot while I kind of put this together. My buddy at work painted it. I'm going to go ahead and paint the stripes and everything else on it. But I took it into work, had it painted. I primed it at the shop, and I asked my boss, and he said it was okay, which I was very thankful for, considering the times that we are in. This one needs a little bit more. I think I need to drill this a little bit further, so let me readjust my drill bit. Now, you guys, I do have air tools, so that's the one thing that I'm spoiled with. But electric drill works. I'm just using an air drill because I got like 3 of them. So make sure that you clean that out as well. And we're going to go ahead and go deeper here. And again, this is what sucks with this. These are like super delicate, and it's going to take some time. I mean, you would think for something that just got to go in a little bit, you'd be okay. But this thing is really, I mean, doing this on a vise would probably be better, but honestly, I can feel the tension in my hand, and there's a fine point between twisting this and breaking the fucker off, and we don't want to break it off. So, again, it broke. So now we got to try to get it out. My wife gasped pretty good. That was legit. So I knew that was bound to happen.
Which I shouldn't be surprised.
Yep, and we are screwed with retrieving this cocksucker out of there. Luckily these bits are under warranty, so I really don't feel bad. I guess that's the douchebag thing to say when your friend lends you his tools, but now we're going to have to get that little bastard out, which, no big deal. It's just going to be more work than it should be. So, again, fine point not found. And right as I was saying that, I can feel it, the tension, but apparently on our first one, we weakened the shit out of this thing. So, we're going to go ahead and extract that and finish the job because we already got one here that's done. And this is exactly why I wanted one done before I showed you guys. Because this is the kind of shit that happens when you try to record while you work. I'm not very superstitious, but anybody who goes out there and knows that when you break these fuckers out, it's a 50-50 chance this is going to break off in the hole you're trying to fucking thread. And what just happened. So, on that note, I will see you guys later, and next time you guys see it, the fucking doors are going to be lined up on this thing already, which I'll probably make a video on that because I got a couple tricks to show you guys on how to line up the doors the easy way while the fenders are off. So, we'll let you guys go. Thanks for subscribing, follow, share, like. I'm also on Instagram, Copper Cutlass. So let's sign off. This fucker broke, and it pierced my finger. So awesome. See ya. Well, that last sign off was not like a sign off because you know what? I wasn't gonna end the goddamn video on that note. So right now I'm compressing the spring. This is exactly how this tool works. If it was only this easy for cars. So I welded it, and you might be thinking, what kind of a dumbass welds a pin where there's a nylon bushing? Well, there's a fine point where you melt the bushing out or you don't. And after it got hot, I made it a point to like cool it off and slowly roll the roller so it can keep its shape. Otherwise, it'll ooze out. But you can see it doesn't wobble. It does go up and down. So does the other one. But it's locked in there. It's not going to fly out. And again, not a lot. Just a nice little tack weld in the center. We couldn't retrieve the tap. So we got one that's screwed in and one that's welded in. Guess what? If I ever do need to redo them again, I just grind this off. And then maybe next time I'll actually grind it and I'll go to a bigger bolt size, not try to use that pin. Because ultimately, what I could do is get a pin with a bolt, grind that pin off, and drill that, and tap that, and I'll be able to use a bigger tap instead of these dinky-ass little ones that fucking break. So that's done. And then I guess I'll show you guys, since I have you guys already, I gotta keep compressing this thing because it takes quite a bit. Hopefully it doesn't shoot out.
Oh my gosh.
These things will fly out.
You didn't warn me that before we started this video.
There's always a possibility that you might die while you're out here.
Yeah, I guess that's the chance I took marrying you.
So, okay, so then you just kind of like wiggle it in there. Did I compress this thing enough? It needs a little bit more. Even though, like, I gotta catch the coils just right. A little more. And you gotta make sure it's in the closed position. Otherwise, you know, trying to close these hinges by hand sucks. So then it's in there. And then you just back this fucking turd out. And this is like a really cheap tool. You can pick these up for like 20 bucks. On the good old electronic bay. Or eBay, as you cool kids would fucking call it. So, from here, you know, and in true fashion, I procrastinated about doing these hinges until I figured out what I was going to do, but I did no planning. I literally ran to the hardware store after I cut my hinges apart and tried finding shit that would work. I had pins I was going to drill, and they, you know, like, those were too big, and then, like, my coworker had these, which actually worked out really nice. He had these from a project he never did, and I'm like, well, these will work. I'll still keep these because, you know, who the fuck knows? Maybe I'll need them down the road. I'll need to pin someone's tits to the wall or something. And just whatever. But there we go. You see? It's done. Our hinges are good. They are solid. And hopefully, you know, our roller will roll. And it'll be good. So, unfortunately, like, I wish these were a little bit better, but, you know, we kind of have to work with what we got here. So, we'll see how well they work on the car once it's on. And, you know, fucking great way to stay in shape. So, yeah, there you go, guys. They're done. We can put them on the car, go from there. So, we'll see you.